Greetings and salutations, my operators, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Case number 3. We're currently in the opening minutes of it. So the case is that our client, who I think his name is McGinty, is suspected of murder of the most famous bricklayer of London, because he was sleeping in the carriage where the victim was stabbed. And according to all witnesses, there were no, what do you call it? No one saw anyone go in or out. So it's just, they're under the assumption it's just him and the victim. So, to most people, it's an open shut case. But for us, yeah. Alright, let's get into it. I don't know why there's no music right now. Alright, and I'm assuming, gonna be the prosecutor for all cases going forward. To be precise, to the precise moments at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed. Order! 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 When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all. Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once. Witnesses, your names and occupations. My name is, well, everyone calls me Peepo. I drive an omnibus in the East End. Bruce Fairplay, I'm a banker in the city.
My name is Faust, Lady Faust. I, make hats for gents.
Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Quite right.
Yes, sir, that's right, sir.
Very well then. Let's proceed with your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw. Can I get my voices right? Witness testimony. What the witnesses saw. It was the last bus of the evening, so I had few customers. I remember it well. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then, out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right... I don't know what accent this is. Then, out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. I couldn't help it.
As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too. An ambiguous testimony, I must say. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes. I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel?
Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Why not? Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it? As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes. Well, in that case, how could these two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of a moving carriage. How quaint. I'd read the civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus? Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning. No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves. The actual scene of the crime, that is. What? Do you mean? The actual scene? How? A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Assumedly, you understand that much. Yes? The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building. Here? What? The entire carriage? Bailiff, bring forth the stricken omnibus. Wow. Big doors. Okay, how would you be able to see into it? I don't think he's wrong here. What, unless it happened on top? So that's the omnibus. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great British courtrooms are amazing. As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. 4 passengers seated inside in the enclosed cabin, and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof allowing a view of the interior from the seats above. Ah, a skylight. Oh! A penny drops at last, I see. Oh, the penny drops at last. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Well, counsel, this is a first. In all of my years behind the bench, I've never experienced a crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom.
There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish.
Very well. I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
The omnibus has been entered into the court record. The 8-seater omnibus that was the scene of the crime. There were passengers both inside the carriage and on the roof deck that night. I can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence? Yes. Great Britain is simply extraordinary. I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here.
Let us continue with the proceedings then. Your cross-examination, counsel.
Well, I'm gonna examine this first. Oh, nope, that's the B button. Phoenix Wright Omnibus, what? Oh, can't find anything out of place there. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure.
Yes, and there's the lamp in the enclosed cabin. I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly.
That's not good for us. I don't know about that. What's that? There's a latch? Nope. Baker Street, Old Street, and City of Westminster? What?
So this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up there here.
So people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights with the cold air rushing past them? And they have to pay money to do so?
Ugh, I can't imagine how cold it must feel.
That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in the freezing cold as punishment?
Perhaps that is the real price you pay to stay out late.
Well, that wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Jobmaster's London head office. Omnibus. Two lamps, London Fifth Avenue.
Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we?
Ugh, the scene of a murder. It's horrible. Alright, what we got here? Ah! That's a poster for the Great Exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition.
Oh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event.
Anything in here? The seat has a handle, it seems. This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running.
Feeding tubes, tools to repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. So there's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems.
There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to stow their luggage, that's for sure.
Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway.
So nothing out of the ordinary, it looks like. Here's the blood. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously.
Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck.
Would you really stab somebody in full view of the other passengers like that, I wonder?
Well, it was after dark, and there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight.
Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. Is it? It's quite a large skylight, isn't it?
Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck.
And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin at least. Should someone have popped it open, jumped down, stabbed the guy, popped back out?
Have you seen enough? Let's step back outside then.
Because there is a latch here, but it's not let me look at it. Play don't expect this Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. Alright. My first cross-examination in a British court. Focus. Rinosuke, focus.
Cross-examination.
What was this all?
It was the last bus of the evening, so I had few customers. I'll remember it well.
Hold it!
Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. That's right, sir. Yes. For ever so cold it was, sir. Freezing, in fact.
And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, of course, though. No. And there were no other passengers when the incident took place? No one alighted, for example? You're quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that? No, none?
So nobody fled the scene of the crime then?
I have to say, the boss insists on running it. He does, every evening. That last bus of the day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say.
What do you mean by that?
Well, what with it being so cold and everything, and only making 20 pence on the run, you see. Yes, I spend that much at the pub on the way home, just trying to warm up again. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus.
Hold it!
And you saw them through the skylight in the roof of the carriage?
That's right. When you sit up on top deck, the window's right there at your feet. There was a lamp on inside, so I had pretty good view. The two of them were wearing hats, so I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded.
How can you be so sure?
Well, how can I put it politely? Mr. McGilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. I could have mistaken him for anyone else.
Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There is no room for doubt here. Ugh, I really wish there was.
Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged the knife right into his guts.
Hold it! You mean I'm Australian? You actually saw the exact moment it happened?
Didn't I already testify to that?
Excuse me!
Oh, that's wrong one. Well, Mr. Bebo,
Oh, me, sir.
do you have something to add in relation to that last statement?
Well, sir, there's just one thing, sir. I was wondering what's going to become of my omnibus, sir, after the trial.
What do you mean?
I can't help wondering. Will no one want to ride in a cursed carriage someone was killed in? Or will everyone want to ride in it? Yes, the cursed carriage could be an attraction. Maybe. It could be a sink or a swim moment for me. Oh yes, I think it will be.
Well, if you could just focus on the testimony for the time being, please.
That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it. Hold it!
He stabbed him, you say, and you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you?
Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I've been thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right out from his belly, that huge, great knife.
A grim sight indeed. Ah, that didn't help me at all. The jury looks like they're even more convinced my client did than they were before.
It appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. McGilda is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence that countered their suspicions.
Mr. Faust,
Oh, yes, sir.
is this the knife you saw?
Oh, good grief. Yeah, that's it. The very one, sir.
Is that? Yes, counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly, like a stake through the heart.
That is a blade of considerable size,
Counsel. It is, and furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial, the letter M, which seems oddly familiar. Ugh, please, no. M for Magnus, perhaps, or McGilden, possibly. Take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
Objection!
But there are M's everywhere. Yes. Like in Mason.
Objection!
This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No, this weapon of murder is almost certainly belongs to the accused. Ugh.
Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, counsel.
The murder weapon has been entered into the court record. A largest knife that was found lodged in the victim's abdomen. Its quality and fancy ornamentation suggests it must be quite valuable.
My lord. Jury number 3. What's the meaning of this?
My mind's made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. Made up about what? I don't like the stinking rich, never have. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. Hey. There's no point in wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter, anyway.
That is precisely what I was about to say. As the foreman of the jury, it is my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors.
What's happening here?
Let me see. Ah, yes. It seems that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts.
With fire?
Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one, they each cast a ball of fire to the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago.
So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean...
Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Ugh, now I'm even more worried than I was before.
Very well. The court acknowledges the change in the jury stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
This is a nightmare.
As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too.
How?
Hold it!
What exactly did you see?
Oh, well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes, collapsed on the floor he was.
And by the passenger, obviously you are referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
Yeah, and the other passenger had that knife in his hand like this.
By the other passenger, you are referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilden.
And then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly.
What?
My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption.
Ah, jury number 2. Go on.
Mr. McGilden is a pillar of society and a gentleman, and a gentleman's words should be sacrosanct. However, those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Wait! What are you about to do?
Dispose of the rubbish!
No!
I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime.
I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion. Not again!
That's 4 out of 6 jury members who propose a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left.
We've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse.
Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We are still very much in the dark.
I suppose I just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may well fly.
We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back.
What? Alright, I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again. Alright, so when it happened, the only 2 people in the enclosed cabin area were the victim and the defendant. And, so help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man trying to defend do the deed!
I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here.
Ugh. What am I supposed to think here? Is Mr. McGilden really innocent? Or could it be...
But before we jump to conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case as much better than we do at the moment.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witness statements again. A little more carefully this time. What did I miss? They're contradicting each other, but how do I... I want him to add that he saw the stab. Like, happen again afterwards. Because... he screamed when he saw the stab.
Hold it!
What exactly did you see?
Oh, well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes, collapsed on the floor he was.
Oh wait, this is different. Why?
Order! Order! It's hard to believe that one of London's greatest philanthropists. But this is damning indeed. The law knows no philanthropist, my lord. Only the innocent and the guilty. Good deeds mean nothing when overshadowed by evil. The truth is everything. Couldn't agree more, sir. The truth.
Alright. So when it happened, the only... He's contradicting everyone else. But I can't get to add to the...
I suppose it's a sheath, isn't it? You're right, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh. Hmm? Oh, sorry. Yes. I just don't really like blades.
Oh. Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist.
That's not a blade. That's Kazuma's soul. Anyway, there's no sense in delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. Ugh. That looks like a lot of blood. A lot like blood.
It surely is blood. Victims.
Ugh. An innocent blood looks a lot like a Japanese man's blood.
Did you think it wouldn't?
Sorry. It's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust.
Yes, I do understand.
Well, there's a giant M. The ornate letter M. Undeniably, Mr. Magnus McGilda's initial.
And it's beautifully gilded too. It must be very valuable, I should think.
Ah!
What is it?
Look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. This could change everything!
A W?
Yes. This is one of those, you know, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it.
I'm afraid I don't know at all. But what I'm sure of is that this is the letter M.
Oh. Well, the idea was quickly quashed. I'm more interested in this horse emblem. Okay, so he's missing a button. Stabbed once in the abdomen whilst journeying in the omnibus. Died due to internal hemorrhaging resulting from the trauma.
Objection!
That reveals a damn inconsistency, that last statement.
Damning, you say? As I look at you, counsel, I see your trembling hand, your pallid expression, and your perspiring brow.
Huh?
It seems to me that is the damning inconsistency here, with the misplaced confidence of your assertion.
Ugh. He has a damning tongue.
You invited, sir.
But he couldn't possibly see it. Like, it would be blocked from where he was looking. Because the coachman sits here.
Objection!
No, it's not either.
Hold it!
He stabbed him, you say? And you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you?
Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing that little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I've been thinking about a new hat design, you see. So I was gazing absent-mindedly around. But then, I happened to look down through the skylight.
You sitting by... Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, he would be able to see it. So that's not inconsistent. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London.
Well, nothing will come of grumbling now.
No. By the way, is Mr. McGilded right-handed?
Yes, I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier.
Pity. If only he'd been left-handed. I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really.
I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really.
A grim sight indeed. Ah, that didn't help me at all. The members of the jury are as shocked as they were the first time.
If this wasn't a court of law, I would have felt compelled to use a suicidal takedown for that lapse in judgment.
No, I'll be more careful. As we have heard, the witness had an unfettered view of events unfolding. Would you not concur, coachman? Your dithering suggests that you would.
Oh, yes, sir.
Alright, so when it happened, the only two people, so help me, 3 whole people witnessed it. They're not reacting to it.
Hold it!
Changing? And you saw them through the skylight in the roof of the carriage?
That's right. When you sit up on the top deck, the window's right there at your feet. There was a lamp on the inside, so I had a pretty good view. The two of them were wearing hats, so I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But the dark shred down my mind that it was Mr. McGilded.
How can you be so sure?
Well, how can I put it politely? McGilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else.
Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There is no room for doubt here. I really wish there was.
Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
Hold it!
You actually saw the exact moment it happened?
Didn't already testify that? Or the fair didn't come? Hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that. This is no good. I really got his back. I really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail if that's...
My lord, I wish to speak. Yes, juror number 5. Do I take it that you too?
Oh.
As the master of London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of murder being committed in one of the city carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I said to myself. But I've heard enough now. The horse has bolted, as they say.
No, please, just keep an open mind a little long.
Get up now, Silver Blaze! The finish is in sight.
I have no idea what accent I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do Scottish and I got nothing.
Beaver is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says.
Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir.
This is too unkind, sir. Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. Madam Juror number 6.
Yes, dear. What can I do for you?
You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand.
Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know.
Then, pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning?
Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGilded Park is called. The gentleman donated to the city, you know. Put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life.
He's always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right. A man like him wouldn't... like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. Mother, may we go to the McGilded Public Library later and borrow some more books?
How may Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know what kind of man Magnus McGilded really is?
What kind of man is he?
A philanthropist, Magnus McGilded, has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir, and one with the very darkest of souls.
What?
Stone the crows.
McGilded lends money at extortionate rate of interest, so his victims have no hopes of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard any mention of that before.
Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has the thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service?
You're not saying that.
The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name, save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debt. Good gracious! The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded. I don't believe it.
Hold it!
If I might add something briefly,
Miss Susano?
you claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded. But where is the evidence used to support your claim?
Pray, forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice in the courts of law. Aha! There it is! Lord Van Zeek's hallowed chalice!
How can this be considered acceptable?
But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself.
As judicial assistant to the defense, I am simply doing my job.
What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside.
Oh,
Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time. A marvelous toast, Counsel! I will gladly accept this new evidence. The debtor's ledger has been entered into the court record. I catalog people who borrowed money from the defendant at a high rate of interest. It includes the victim, who owed 20 guineas. Ah, yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum. And the accused made certain that he had ample recompense. Oh, that's it. Might be the evidence we're looking for. This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of London's gentry.
oh dear. Do you really think we ought to look inside?
Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder.
I assure you, you will not find Mr. Sholmes' name inside.
Well, let's see what we find.
Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen names, isn't it?
Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off.
Ah, goodness.
What is it?
Look at this. Do you see the name here?
Bruce Fairplay.
Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually.
Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment.
Oh, yes. Of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? Ah. He borrowed 20 guineas, didn't he? Did he? And look, the repayment day is fast approaching.
It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information.
The details of the debtor's ledger have been updated in the court record. Among the defendant's list of debtors is Bruce Fairplay, who would have been due to repay his loan imminently. So that's the only interesting name. I thought it was gonna be like the juror's name. Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes.
Regrettably, madame. That is the modus operandi of the accused.
And it's such a pretty little park, too. What a scoundrel. Still, maybe it's all for the best. Well, wait a minute. Let's think about this a little. I don't stand for nonsense. That was it. The last juror's decision.
According to the Encyclopedia of British Law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here.
The final verdict. It's over then.
Oh. There's a footnote, though.
A footnote?
However, the defense...
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case.
Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision.
According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections.
Mr. Sato, just tell me one thing.
Oh, yes?
You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense, you know. What did it say next?
Oh, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has a right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point.
Summation examination?
Objection!
A summation examination. From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's heretic, long forgotten, and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck.
Oh.
What even is it, Miss Susato? The so-called summation examination.
Oh, one moment, and I'll read about it.
You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails. Typical Nipponese.
Alright, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury.
To do what exactly?
Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decision. And it says here that If successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed. Make them reverse the decisions.
Yes, and times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really. So it rather fell out of use.
I wonder why.
Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age.
Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
A summation examination, our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out, or admit defeat? Assert our right! The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examination are an embarrassment that should remain buried.
Objection!
But if it's in our right, it's our right. I believe it could prove vital in this trial.
The defense petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination.
This is madness.
Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? I'm not. There was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see. So, all members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decisions. On what grounds? You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, my lord, you were rather putting us on the spot.
This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before.
I don't really hold with all this justifying law. I seem to have thrown the jurors off. Have they not?
It seems none of them have experienced this before.
Alright then. Summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for to turn this trial around.
So be it then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant, Magnus McGilded, guilty of this most serious crime.
Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions.
There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it had to be him.
I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence.
He stuck the tab next to him like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen. I have simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion.
You can trust the guild. Fair fares are our motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years.
The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief.
He wasn't stabbed on the floor, though. He stabbed on the seat. I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now.
Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they?
Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I'll have to throw everything I can at them. And use some very persuasive language.
Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works.
Oh? I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant.
Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. But then, they've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become.
Then what on earth am I supposed to do?
Oh dear, I was just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right. I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work then?
Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your arguments.
What do you mean?
Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together.
And that's the way to break them down, you mean?
Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can, we then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other.
I see. So it's contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination.
Oh, yes, I suppose you're right.
Find contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off. Can we start proceedings, counsel? I would ask you take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal. Yes, my lord. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. There was no one else in the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him.
Hold it!
Certainly, the testimonies we've heard suggest the victim and McGilded were alone inside the carriage. Precisely my point. But could there have been some other explanation? Something we haven't considered yet? Such as? Well, perhaps that's something we could all work out together now? Now listen here. Maybe you don't know how things work around here because you're from foreign climes. But we're here to form our opinions as individuals, and I have.
Oh dear, he doesn't appear to be in the mood to consider any alternative viewpoints, does he?
No, I'm going to have to pit the jurors against one another, as Usawa-san said. Find contradictions in these 6 people's assertions is the only way I'm going to succeed.
I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory. It seems 4 passengers with fares totaling for 20 pence.
Hold it!
But how does his ability to recall his takings that night really tell us how trustworthy the man is?
I manage all his lordship's cash affairs, so I'm very particular when it comes to accounts.
I see.
A single penny can mean the difference between life and death, after all. Can't it?
That's a saying in your country?
My point is, a man who minds his figures is a man you can trust. Those of us in service would swear to that, sir.
Does that bench really need any more polishing?
So, if the good driver says that he saw Mr. McGilded in the act, I don't doubt him. The only task left to do is disposing of the rubbish.
Ah, now wait a minute. One of the other jurors mentioned something about money, I think.
Now would be a very good time to listen very carefully to the jurors' statements again, Mr. Naruhodo. If you notice an inconsistency in what 2 different jurors are saying, I should expose it by pitting them against each other. Yes, let's see if I can do just that then.
He stuck the chat next to him like this! Just like this. Brazen, I must say, absolutely brazen. You can trust the guild. Nope, nope. That's too. Ack! You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices over above 4 pence for years.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other. They do. Explain yourself, counsel.
Me? Oh dear, what have I done?
I swear on Silverblaze's main and name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about.
According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares.
Quite right. I have those precise details typed nearly here in front of me.
And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
That it is. A fair and convenient single price. Just the way London's carriages should be operated.
But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man? Why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you use the multiplication, it would be 16 pence. Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely, 1 person's fare.
1 person's fare?
Yes! In other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've heard nothing about.
Good gracious! This can't be right. The coachmen of the guild are good, honest men. We're not. Trustworthiness is our watchword.
The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy.
I beg your pardon.
Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he let nefarious characters ride his omnibus.
Alright then. How do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end,
Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fire onto the innocent side of the set of scales.
Now hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why would you go and... Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo! This is all very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir, I'm going to do the same.
Man, why can our trials look like this? I want to launch fireballs at the jury.
For the love of Mike, not you two.
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really?
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo, you did it. If we can change 2 more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue.
2 more. Actually, there is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions.
Then that's where you must strike next.
So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions.
Exactly. You can do it.
scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue your summation examination.
I am changing my leaning to innocent. I should like to hear what the slipshod bookkeeper had to say for himself.
He stuck the chap next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen.
I feel like typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusions.
Grr, Dabu. This trial has to continue so I can get to the bottom of this corruption. Not guilty, I say.
The scoundrel stabbing the poor man on the floor. It beggars belief.
That's it.
Objection!
Those two statements are completely contradictory. What? Explain, counsel! Post haste!
Oh, dearie me. I was only knitting a jumper for my other half.
What is all this claptrap?
What does contradictory even mean, I ask you?
We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant was stabbed. The defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3.
What? Can't you see I'm busy here?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it?
Ah! Want to test me, do you? It was like this! Stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. Just like the prim banker said. Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true.
Now then, juror number 6.
Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam?
Oh, well, dear. As far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so.
Now don't move.
Take a look at these two jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor.
Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What? Bless my stitches. What a muddle.
What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth.
Oh.
But why?
Why the dickens would they lie?
I don't know that yet. But what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen? In all good conscience? Wow, brain.
Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies.
The scales!
I don't believe it. Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him. In his black suit, he's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on all of us.
If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this?
Answer me this, Dark Jinx.
Huh? Me?
What exactly is the problem? What of it if two witnesses have slightly different recollections of events?
What of it?
Let's say the Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus, and this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then the Shylock stabbed him again, and this old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say that it did happen like that,
Oh, you calling a dandy, sir?
Why, I should take this knife to you.
Who are you calling old? Why, I should take this meal to you.
Jeez. They're ready to kill each other now. But could the foreman of the jury be right? Did the two witnesses see different moments of the same crime? Is out the question. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman. What is it, you dark jinx? Come on, out of it. What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question. What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me some proof. It looks like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish. What? I'll give you the proof. Without the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime, as proven by the autopsy report.
Take that!
This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen. Only once. Only once? It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen two different times. Alright, I concede defeat. Cool? Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty.
You've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We've won!
Part 1, at least. Why are you playing at, you dandy fool? Shut your trap. No one deceives me. But we had a consensus. I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor sharp blade and shave every piece of his hair, every last hair off his head. Please tell me he's a barber. Well, in quite a remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue. I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places, and I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth. So, Lord Van Zieks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please. Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hollow chalice, it may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zieks! Is it cold in here, or is it just me? As your antiquated tome no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during the summation examination, so I honored a deathly silence and listened to the charade. It seems I overestimate the intelligence of the jury. Well, no matter. There is nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth. it would seem. No. And why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Bring forth the witnesses once more. Witnesses, I trust you heard the summation examination we have just had to endure.
Oh, yes, sir. That I did, sir.
Of course I heard it.
Oh, yes, sir. I heard it.
You, sir, are the end. The coachman, I believe is Babu.
Yes, sir, my lord, sir.
If it transpires that in your previous testimony, you were attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir.
Oh mio Dio.
Now then, witnesses, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination. Oh, I'm getting worried now. Various misgivings.
I only carried 4 passengers that night. I swear it. But
Well, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus.
He filled us on the fare, he did. And then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. It's all too much.
Oh, I tell you, I saw McGilda stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands.
oh yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so. Yes.
Counsel, make sense of this for me, please. The phantom fifth passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. The confusion had arisen from the coachman's sly little cousinage. Bubble! Explain yourself!
I'm terribly sorry, Guild Master.
The guild's fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny for a fare?
It's so cold, and the last run of the day is always half empty.
You have been dishonest, coachman.
I'm sorry.
You're a disgrace, Babo. A disgrace. You and your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the entire guild.
If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
What?
4 passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently.
No, that figures. Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please. We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games. Absolutely. Very misgiving.
I only carried 4 passengers that night. I swear it, but
Hold it!
So, there were only 4 passengers on your carriage, but you didn't charge them the standard 4 pence fare. Is that right?
it's impossible to make the last run of the day pay. I am so cold. It was all I could do to stop myself
passing out. I'm getting chilblains just listening to you. I don't know what that word is. It was terrible. I want to give myself a pat on the back for even keeping the bus running. Doesn't a dedicated coachman deserve an extra penny per passenger? You're digging a deeper hole for yourself here. If only there had been a fifth passenger on the omnibus that night. Then we would have had another suspect.
Well, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus.
Hold it!
Does that mean everyone on board that night paid 5 pence instead of 4?
Well, I paid 5 pence too, sir.
And I just told you I did.
Yeah, flat fire of 5 pence across the board. It's not something to be proud of.
The so-called discrepancy my learned friend identified was nothing of the sort. Much like the phantom killer you so desperately needed, it's gone. Dead and buried.
I'd have been happy if it had ever existed in the first place.
He failed us on the fair, he did. And then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. It's all too much.
Hold it!
This blood-curdling sight mean the murder, I presume?
Yes, sir.
A loathsome sight. No one should have to witness the horror in the eyes of a man the moment his life is taken.
Oh, well, not exactly, sir. I mean, I didn't actually see the exact moment the gent was stabbed.
Good gracious! Really? We have another witness who did, however. The banker has already testified to it.
But Mr. Faust didn't actually see the point at which the victim was killed. That may turn out to be very significant.
I heard the banker gent next to me take a sharp intake of breath, see? And that's when I looked through the glass. That's when I saw the horrible blade poking out of his belly, all covered in blood. Every time I see a knife now, I can't help screaming, even when I'm eating.
I tell you, I saw Mick Gilda stabbing the man. Everything I said before stands.
Hold it!
So you saw the defendant, Mr. McGilded, stabbing the victim, Mr. Mason, who was sitting next to him?
That's what I said. Is it?
It was bothering me before this was. For just a brief moment, he hesitated before answering the question.
Anyway, there was only the 2 of them inside the carriage, wasn't there?
There's been much talk of a 5th passenger, but as of yet, 0 evidence.
Then what are we wasting all this time for? It's black and white. The man's guilty.
Something about Mr. Fairplay's testimony just jars with me. I wish I could work out what it was. Yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes.
Hold it!
Earlier, you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you? Oh, yes, that's right. You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice pick grip. I suppose I might have, yes, put the cart before the horse. Maybe?
What's this?
Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats on the roof deck. Oh, I expect that was me, sir. And then when I turned around, yes, I saw it through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor, and the knife was sticking up out of his midriff. That's right, yes, the fellow holding the handle was the famous man, yes.
So in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all?
I really thought I did, but when I go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment of the stabbing, did I? What's up with you?
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay? Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Eh? Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? Why was he looking down? There's no reason why. No chance. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight on the top of an omnibus, that is. Peeping? I'm a respectable state banker. I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I remember it as clear as a Ballarat day. It was a grim scene. I don't mind telling you. Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. Oh, excuse me if I was getting a little hot on the collar there, my lord. I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw. Oh, I can do that, alright. I'll tell you just how grim it was. Do you think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after that butcher stabbed the man?
Hold it!
Blood-soaked? Him! Well, perhaps soaked is laying on a little thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it. And he saw that from the roof, through the skylight. Well, the skylight's reasonably large, so I have pretty good view. And there was a lamp on the inside of the carriage as well. So I'm quite sure of what I saw. This maker's latest statement. I feel sure there's something not quite right about it.
When you feel something doesn't add up, Mr. Naruto, that's when you should have a good look through the court record.
Not long ago, this trial very nearly came to an end. Somehow, we've managed to keep our chances alive here. I can't waste this cross-examination. I have to use it to bring some new facts to light.
If you're not careful when you press these witnesses, the danger is that the jury will end up believing something unhelpful, as they did before.
Maybe. But we can't let the fear of that happening stop us from uncovering the important new information.
Yes, you're so right.
I need to pay careful attention here. I don't want to miss even a flicker of a reaction among these witnesses.
Remember, if you happen to spot one of the witnesses reacting in a strange way, don't hesitate to pursue them as to the reason.
Oh, can't go backwards.
Objection!
Blood-soaked hands. Well, I admit that soap may be laying on a little thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it. Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar. What? Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question. Oh, yes, right. And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark colored stain here. But, as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right hand glove. In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent. Gah! But, no! That can't be right.
So, you're the liar here then?
Grr. That's right. You were quite clear about it. You said it was both hands. Grr. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed. But is that really the truth? Grr.
Objection!
It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands. It was only one. But the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection!
No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands. Which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court. Grrrg! Why? I'm a city banker for peace sake. My ward should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not a gutter snipe, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding member of society, don't prevaricate. He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case?
Mr. Naruhodo, if we have some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn the tide of the trial completely.
Something to show this man has a complete reason to lie in his testimony. And we're gonna end it there for today. Alright, getting the ball rolling now. So now that we're finding these contradictions, everything's starting to come out Millhouse. So next time, we find the true killer, maybe, possibly. Or part 2. I'm not sure how many parts the trials have. The other one had 3. So we'll see. Until then, thank you everyone who joined me today, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!